Welcome to the Sweet Smiles podcast, where smiles are baked into every story. I'm Chelsea Bogg, Marketing Director with Icing Smiles, and in this podcast, we share the heartfelt stories of the families, volunteer bakers, donors, and community members who make our mission possible. Every dream cake has a story behind it, and today we're sharing one of those stories. Today, I'm so excited to introduce someone who has made an incredible impact on Icing Smiles. Our guest, Jerri, has created 28 cakes for children facing critical illness. 28 families have celebrated birthdays, milestones, and precious moments because she said yes. Jerri, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me. It's quite an honor. Goodness, with what you just said, I would never have thought. I mean, gosh, there have been times where it has been a year between cakes, opportunities to do a cake, and I wish I could do more.
The love that you want to do more is beautiful. And 28 cakes is impressive. So you deserve major pats on the back. But before we dive too deep into Icing Smiles, I'd love for everyone to get to know you a little bit better. So tell us about yourself. Who are you outside of baking?
Well, I am still working, not retired yet, although that is coming up early next year. Made that decision, and
Congratulations.
thanks. I'm actually looking forward to it. I really am. I work for a company called TJX Companies, and everybody says, I've never heard of them. And I'm going, no, you really have. Everybody knows the company I work for. We own TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, a brand new store, at least for the territory I work in, called Home Sense. And they sell larger home items like furniture items and bedding and things like that. I'm looking forward to having one where I live so that I can see what those look like. And we have another store called Sierra, which is a very outdoorsy kind of store.
Very neat.
And I work with the division that looks for places for new sites. So I do a whole lot of computer and paperwork getting those packages prepared and into our corporate office.
Very neat. Well, they are lucky to have you. So how did baking become a part of your life?
Oh my gosh. My grandmother on my father's side was a baker. My other grandmother, not so much, although she baked pies and they were great. Oh my gosh, they were great pies. I am not a pie baker. I wish I were. But my grandmother always had cake around whenever I would go to visit, and I would spend several weeks with them during summer. And she just always had it. So I kind of picked up little things from her. I am not a scratch baker, but I am a Dr. The Mix baker.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's always fun. I don't think I've had any complaints from any Icing Smile families that the cakes weren't.
You are a highly rated baker for us.
Am
Jerri.
I? Really? But I used to teach decorating, cake decorating as well for in the Michaels stores.
So neat.
And it was fun. So, I always told my students, I said, your cake may be absolutely beautiful and perfect. If it doesn't taste good, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to remember what it looked like. If it tastes good, they remember both. It tasted good and it was gorgeous. So, you always have to make sure it tastes good.
So true. I couldn't agree
yeah.
more. It's something that I say often in my wedding cake tastings is saying it's a part of your decor. It needs to be beautiful, but there's no point in it unless it tastes good. It's dessert. And it's interesting how many people I've gotten to interview for this podcast who their inspiration comes from their grandmother. I am actually one of them. Both of my grandmothers professionally decorated cakes. So I grew up around it also, and they were my inspiration.
I had another woman who she was at an age she could have been my grandmother very easily. But my mother worked in a candy store for many years while my sisters and I were growing up. And that store was just a mom and pop. They made everything fresh. If we bit into a piece of See's candy. Everybody knows See's candy. Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible compared to their homemade candy, which was so great. And after school, I would go there and I would sit in the back room and I would just watch. And the wife did a lot of the decorating. I mean, everything was beautiful. So I always wanted to learn how to decorate. And her husband was the one who was always making the candy. And he had this huge copper pot that was probably 24 inches diameter. I mean, huge. And he would do caramel corn and he would do, which I learned how to do at a store called Fedco, which hasn't existed for decades. But in their snack bar, my very first job was making their caramel corn. And I knew exactly how to do that paddle with that big copper
So cool.
thing too. So, but yeah, so I had their influence as well as far as, cake and candy and
Well, that's
stuff. So
beautiful.
yeah, it was fun.
And it's
It
such a
was fun.
cool art to learn. It's
It
that
is.
beautiful. I agree. All the piping, all the skill behind it. So do you remember how you first discovered Icing Smiles?
You know what? I honestly do not. And well, I've been doing it. Oh my gosh. 10. I'm trying to even think. I know where I was living when I put in the application for it. So it would have been 2014.
Okay. So we were founded
Somewhere.
in 2013. So you're an
Oh,
original.
okay. Yeah, I remember my very first cake I did. I did a 3-tiered cake for 40 servings.
I do it every time too.
But it was back when I was still working with fondant. I don't work with fondant anymore, but I did snowflakes because it was on Frozen.
Oh, fun.
Frozen was the big movie back then, or her favorite movie, whatever. But I did it I did a lot of the snowflakes and glitter and everything. And it was odd because the mom came out to my car. I let her know I was there and she came out to the car. I very carefully got my cake out and I'm holding it. And I said, just show me where to take it. She literally took it out of my hands and left.
Goodness.
And I went, oh, okay. All right. And I just, when I saw she had stairs to go up, I went, please be very careful. I hope it made it up those stairs. I hope I do, but I've never had anybody else not allow me to bring in a cake. A lot of people have volunteered and everything. I'm going, because if you don't, I have a style. I do a 2-tier cake for 40 servings. It's just, it needs to be special.
Yes.
It just needs to be a little more than an 8-inch round or a 10-inch round. Although the last one I did, had boxers. Their theme was boxing because the little boy was going to go through another round. I don't know if it's a round of chemo, a round of radiation. I have no idea. But so I got the Rock'em Sock'em robots, the toys.
Oh,
so
cool.
I made it on a 10-inch, but these were not very small. They were still 5-6 inches tall. But it also gives them something to play with. But it was just a 1-tier with that one. And it was so much easier to carry.
Right. I know. The delivery part, the stress behind that is always interesting. And
Yes.
I like to deliver my cakes. And it does create sometimes that special opportunity to meet the family. But there is a part of Icing Smiles, depending on the child's medical condition, things like that we don't always get that honor that we're looking for. But even if that delivery moment wasn't exactly what you were expecting or something like that, the cake definitely made smiles happen.
So many. And everybody, it's not that she wasn't nice. She was very nice and she was very appreciative of the cake. I mean, her face it was great. I just did not expect it to just go out of my hands.
Sure.
Okay. All righty. You got it.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful too, though, that the mom's reaction, it's more than just the kid. It affects the mom. It affects the family, that the mom got so much impact and wow factor from the cake. You know that when that cake went inside, that child was floored if that's her special theme.
Yeah. More often than not, I never see the children that I am bringing a cake in for.
A lot of people think that, we're just delivering a simple dessert, that it's just a cake. But we all know, as a sugar angel, seeing the families that we impact, that it's so much more than that. When did that moment, like that light bulb go off for you that this cake represents something so much bigger?
Honestly, I may start crying with this one. I think it was a cake I made just a few years ago, really. I mean, I've always been shown a lot of appreciation for it and been thanked profusely. I regard this as being a labor of love for me, a way of giving back and doing something for a family that, they can't do themselves. So to me, it's like I don't expect anything other than, a smile. I love to see their reaction. But this one cake was for a baby, and she was 6 months old at the time. I have a feeling they did not expect her to reach her first birthday. And so when I took it in, everybody was very solemn. I mean, it was a very heavy atmosphere. So I was extremely quiet, just setting it up. But it was again, my usual 2-tiered cake. And I had taken butterflies that were gold. They were like a foil almost. I could bend their wings and everything. And I actually hooked them up to wires. So they were all around, out at the top of the cake and the sides. So they were flying everywhere. And I don't even know what inspired me with the butterflies, because it was nothing they said it. It was, I have no idea, but it kind of broke that tension that they had in there. So I knew this was something really, really important to them. And I was looking at our Facebook page 6 months later. I don't even know why, the timing of it, but there was a photo of another cake for the first birthday. And the message on the cake was that, yeah, she was not there anymore. So I was very, very, well, as you could tell, I was very moved with that one. But there's just a lot of other times when, when there's a child that does see their cake and I get to see their reaction to it. And that's even it. It's just something I'm having trouble describing it, because it's really something difficult to articulate, but you've made a difference. You've made a difference in their day. It may only be one day in their entire life, but
It's so true. It's not something that you can just sit here and put words to. The power that we get to feel, the power and the impact that we make in delivering these cakes. It's beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that story. We are dealing with a population of children that not all of them have the outcomes that we want them to. And we want success stories more than anything in the world. And medicine's constantly advancing, but it's sadly not the case for everybody. And our job is to find those special moments and celebrate now, because life's short and every second deserves to be celebrated.
very, very true.
Yeah. And I hold a very special place in my heart for our memorial cakes. And I think it's such a impactful part of our program also. My son passed away and I was served a memorial cake through Icing Smiles. And even as a baker, I'm fully trained. I'm capable of doing it. I serve dream cakes all the time. But in that moment, I couldn't, I didn't have it in me. And the fact that somebody stepped up for me and did that for my family, the memorial cakes, it's just huge.
Yes. I can imagine. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I appreciate it. He's a lot of my reason for being right here. And he'd be turning 10 this year. And I live every day in his honor and his memory. But you have now completed 28 cakes, Jerri, which you've said, oh, you don't feel like it. You could do more. And I love that. But you need to know how big of a thing this is. That's a huge milestone. 30 is coming right around the corner. And how cool is that? So looking back, has there anything that surprised you the most about volunteering?
Wow, that's a difficult question. I love it. I mean, I guess I'm surprised at how much joy I get out of it. I mean, I understand the family does. I don't look at it as, work, like, my gosh, I have a cake to do. It's like, I get to, the design part of it. And I always try to provide some type of keepsake on the cake or as part somewhere. That there is a memento, whether it's a toy they can play with or a picture, or I think I've done a music box at one time with the favorite song.
How cool.
I'm surprised at how much I actually get out of it. It's fun. It's not work for me. It's fun.
That's
It's,
so true. Because a lot of our bakers that do volunteer for Icing Smiles, myself included, sell their cakes. But when I get that order for an Icing Smiles cake, it's so different. Like, it's not my everyday order. I get to pour my heart and soul into it. I get to have fun with it, create it into something different, try a new skill, and it's not work, and it's my heart and soul is poured into it. I know their heart and soul is going to be consumed by it. I love how you explained that. That was the perfect way to say it.
Oh, well, thanks.
You're coming for my job, Jerri. You're going to be hosting the podcast next. So people see these gorgeous cakes on social media, on our website. They don't always see what goes into them because it is a lot of time and talent and love that goes into it. So walk us through a little bit, like when you receive that call to action, how you go about planning your cakes.
The first thing I do is usually getting in touch with the parent or whoever is listed and getting a little more, not information, but like, if I just get, vanilla cake, vanilla icing, it's like, okay, would you like to make it a little more special? We can add a flavor into the icing. We can add something other than vanilla to the cake. Would you like the batter colored? I mean, I did a tie-dye cake a year and a half ago. Oh, and that one took a lot of time because, you're not only making your batter, but you have to make different colors of batter and then getting it all in the pan. I couldn't wait to cut into this cake and see it. And of course, I don't get to cut into the cake. So it was like, please send me pictures. Please. I'm dying to see what it looks like inside. But the little girl that it was for, she was just over the moon with it, excited, because I decided to do some tie-dye stuff on the outside as well with the icing, just painting. Like the old tie-dye shirts used to be.
So cool.
It was a whole lot of fun, but that one actually, it took a lot more work than I was expecting it to do, but it was so much fun. That one was one I probably won't repeat.
One and done. Yes. Oh, cool. So you like to contact the parent and then
I'm sorry. Yes, I know I
around.
wandered off there. I do. I contact the parents, ask them if there's something, different, something special they want to do. I let them know it will be plenty of servings for them. They will probably have leftovers because I do a 2-tiered cake, so it's plenty. And I asked them a couple of questions about getting more into colors or one was a theme for Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Like, okay. And that's all it said, Puerto Rico and bright colors. And I went, all right, a little more, but their aunt was Puerto Rican and the kids were born in Puerto Rico as well, even though they are now over here. And she was actually a presidential honoree. Yeah, the thing they usually do with the movie stars and everything. I don't know what she did. If I'm remembering correctly, it was something with opera.
Wow.
So I thought I need to look her up. And this was only within the last year, this cake. And so I had to do some research on Puerto Rico to see what do I do for a cake. But it ended up so cute. And the mom had decorated this whole room that she had rented out to have this. And she had all psychedelic lights and poster boards that lit up with that, bright neon type of paint and everything when you put a black light up and stuff. And my cake fit perfectly in with that whole atmosphere. And it was just, we both sat there looking at going, how did this happen?
It was made for it.
How did this happen that this came together with exactly what she was doing? It was pretty amazing. But so I do like to get a little more info, and I always tell them how large it's going to be, what kind of space I need, for setting it up. And I may need some time to place some things on because I will not drive if there's things that can fall off.
Sure.
I won't drive. And so I do talk to the parents, or whoever that contact person is, a couple of times during the process in case I run into anything.
I love your passion and your dedication to making sure it is a dream cake, that it is what this child wants and really stands out beyond just like any other cake.
Yes.
Love it. Well, Jerri, thank you, not just for being on the podcast, but for every night that you've stayed up baking, every batch of buttercream, every stressful delivery, and every smile that you've helped create. 28 cakes means 28 families who were celebrated during one of the hardest chapters of their lives. This is an incredible legacy, and we're so grateful that you're a part of the Icing Smiles family. And to everybody listening, until next time, keep baking, keep giving, and keep creating smiles.
Thank you for listening to the Sweet Smiles podcast, where smiles are baked into every story. If today's story inspired you, we invite you to learn more about how you can support the mission of Icing Smiles, whether that's by volunteering, donating, or simply sharing our story. You can find out more information at www.icingsmiles.org. Until next time, keep spreading kindness and helping us bake more smiles.